Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity.
10 Pond says she trips them.
What?
You're awful.
The hero of the hour. Have Frick sent you down to check on us? We aren't causing trouble, on my word. Don't suppose you know where a woman could find some... No. What are you playing? Dozens. Care to test your luck? Each of us puts down 50 pounds. 3 wins and you take the 100. Could explain the rules if you like. What are the rules? It's simple enough. Winner takes all. We roll 3 dice each. Get 3 fours and that's the dozen. Beats all the other rolls. You roll anything else that sums up to 12, that's the towers. Second best. You roll any other triples, that's a godhammer. You get a pair, that's witnesses. 1, 2, and 3 is the saint, that's the lowest. Any other roll is stalkers. Doesn't amount to anything, so you roll the dice again. You get it? Yeah. 10 reaches forward to gather up his dice. Right, here we go. Coins on the table. I'll let you go first, since you knew. Roll the dice. You cast the dice. 1, 4, 5 tokers. Witness, value 4. Towers, value 5. Ha! My towers beat your witness. Looks like a win. Witness, value 3. Witness. We're evenly matched. Tokers, the saint. Oh, towers. He wins. Tokers, towers, value 6. Towers, value 6. Tokers, witness, value 3, witness, value 3. Um, Towers, witness. Tokers, witness, value 1. Tokers, witness. And the game is mine. Don't take it too hard, friend. You can always try again. Sure, no, thank you. I cannot click this for some reason. Oh, and a certain of dusty vintages lines these shelves, many dated before the War of the Defiance. I'm not gonna steal anything. We have no reason to steal anything. Oh, actually, I think we can resolve this. But anyway, we have to go back to Cat Noir. To talk with the guy, so we might as well resolve the fight manually. Okay, anything else? Oh, there's a lot of houses we can check out. Which is interesting. And this house is still burning.
They gone? Have those nasty brutes finally left?
I heard the ogres outside, tearing down walls and murdering folk. Don't remember how things got this bad. The elderly woman needs her hands. Her knuckles are swollen knobs, and her palms are ridged with calluses that scrape and rasp as she rubs them together.
But you're the new adventurer. Renengild's latest volunteer.
She squints at you, leaning precariously forward on her wobbling legs.
A real spitfire, she told me. Bet you'd whip those layabouts at the mine into shape.
I would like to ask you about something.
Did you say something, dear?
Tell me about yourself.
Me? I was the overseer at the mine, back when it was running. Got shut down decades ago when we couldn't sell or ship the stuff. But I still remember plenty about the mining business. And I got as many folk as I can digging out the entrance.
She taps her head as put Dom under a thinning thatch of hair.
Been praying to the salty wench that I don't forget too much before they finish the job.
She winks. Okay,
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
Thank you very much. These teeth have been sanded smooth in preparation for carving. Might sound funny, but even if I wanted, I really. Oh, it's not burning anymore. I have a really hard time while trying to yell. I can
Fresh fish!
rarely do
Freshly
that.
caught! Effigy's eyes! It looks at me! Ah!
What? A dozen pairs of globular eyes stare up piteously from the discarded heads of the day's catch, awash in a pungent sea of fins and innards. Sift through the fish scraps. Your hand runs up against something round and fleshy, the size of a melon. It is smooth and scaleless, and parts seem to be covered in hair. A discarded head, perhaps, but not that of a fish. Pull it out. With one hand on either side of the head, you begin to lift it out of the barrel, only to have it leap from your grasp as the head's owner springs over the lip of the barrel in an eruption of fish chunks that rain down over the market stall. The man who leapt from the barrel stands facing you, nearly naked save for a loincloth and drizzled in fish viscera. He is covered head to toe in scars, tears and punctures, and the thorny imprints of lashings. Most are faded, like old memories. Despite that, the condition of the man's body is remarkable. The drooping skin at his flanks and elbows is the only evidence of his advanced age. His face is placid, but the rest of him appears prepared for anything.
You must forgive Zawa. I was not expecting you.
He looks you in the eye at first, but his gaze drifts now and then, settling on strange parts of your face as though distracted by new discoveries. If if he is at all flustered, he gives no indication. What were you doing in that barrel? Zawa scratches behind his ear, dismayed.
Resting my eyes, I thought. Waiting for the Malkachoa to bring me insight.
He shakes his head.
It would seem I dozed. A good thing my master was not alive to see it.
Zawa blinks, leaning in to get a better look at you. His enlarged pupils seem to crowd out his pale irises.
Are you... Are you real?
Now that you ask, I'm not so sure.
We shall let the matter rest for now, then. Until the Malkachoa wears off.
Mokacho?
A small white mushroom. I have heard it called snowcap in these lands. It can reveal the true nature of many things.
You have a master, you said. The man traces your inadvertent glance at his scars. He smiles politely.
A teacher, not an owner. Zawa is a free man. Well, as free as any of us.
I still don't understand why you are in that barrel.
I was freeing myself from vanity.
Did he say sanity or vanity?
Consider, how can one be vain who is bathed in the smell of dead fish?
There's a proud glint in his eyes. Well, hard to argue with that.
I had the idea when I passed this way earlier. I am pleased with the results so far.
He smiles at the woman whose head is swiveled towards him as she passes by, a look of revulsion on her face. Distracted, her toe catches on a stone and she nearly falls on her face. He claps his hands together.
Yes, quite pleased.
Those scars are from battle? Zawa glances down at his body.
From battle, yes. I left them upon my enemies.
He points at various patches of crisscrossing scars.
These were struck against fear. These against pleasure. These against hatred. Those down there against greed and doubt. And these...
He points to his face.
These were for vanity.
You made those scars.
I cannot take credit for all of them, but I did most of the good ones.
His mouth perks.
I put them there in battle to remind myself what is real and what is not. Our worst enemies are inventions of the mind, pleasure, fear, when we see them for what they are, we become unstoppable.
And you have achieved this.
I feel I have been close, but never for more than an instant. In the moment when the pain is sharpest, the world becomes clear. In that moment, I am a match for anyone.
He gives a so assured nod. Your wounds must have caused you to suffer greatly.
Of course, I am fortunate to have suffered so much. If I did not suffer, I would not aspire to free myself from it. I would wander from one unfulfilling goal to the next. More wealth, a better station. My soul would wither. But to search for a place beyond suffering's reach is to nurture the soul, to harden it against the elements.
He clenches his fists in illustration.
Suffering is the greatest gift the gods have given us, their most beautiful, perfect creation. It is the hand that turns the wheel.
His eyes gleam as though looking upon an old and beloved friend. Do you often smear yourself with fish?
Gods, no. What a way to travel the world. The usual way is to smear yourself with the ashes of the dead. But they do not burn their dead here, so I have to make do with what the land provides.
He sniffs at the air.
The cold seems to conquer the smell. Even now, the scent hides itself. Disappointing.
You don't seem like you're from around here.
I was visiting a monastery not far from here. I found it empty, but I met a messenger as I left. He carried a call for aid. Seeing that he would find no monks at the monastery, I chose to go in their place. Zawa is no longer young, but in combat he is still the greatest of the Takan people. It seemed only right that he should go.
Star Wars hired me as well.
I would not say I am hired. I seek no wage, and I promise no result. I have chosen a path, and my spoils come from walking it.
An uneasy frown settles on his face, almost a wince.
And this fortress, this Durgan's battery, its people are gone. Zawa would know why.
If you seek the White Forge as well, I could use the help of an experienced warrior. Zawa's face tilts upward, his eyes fixing on the sky. He remains motionless, entranced. At length, he blinks as if awakening and looks back at you. He shrugs cheerily.
If one wishes to swim, it is no time to argue with the current. We are here together in this moment because a perfect force has willed it. Who is Zawa to argue?
He looks you squarely in the eyes, and for once, they do not drift.
I will walk with you so long as the gods wish it so.
Then let's be on our way. Okay, but actually, what I wanted to do was dismiss either
See you when I see you.
dismiss Alok because
Farewell.
we've done their quest. You are a monk, and I'll also take care Hyavias with us. Kinda will take when we go to the endless endless paths.
I have led before.
Like this.
I hope this goes better.
No, surely. You have athletics already. I'll give you some survival. Maybe one less. With wounds, -2 wound threshold. Okay. Next level. More athletics, more athletics. Swift strikes? Yes. Okay, maybe let's give it some athletics, more stealth. Let's give it 2 points into stealth. Definitely wound binding. Yes. Athletics, survival, clarity of agony. Maybe soul mirror. What is long strike plus 2 movement speed plus 5% burn damage per wound. Mm, yeah, sure. Some more survival. Hmm. Unarmed great. More damage reduction. The long pain. So summon weapon long pain fist. Summon weapon long pain fist for 30 seconds. Let's give it duality of mortal presence. Survival. Hmm. Or you know what? Athletics. Let's give you a Scion of Flame. More athletics. And the long pain. As for you, I won't give you anything yet. Dancing bolts, shock damage. No, those are, I think those are the ones that I always miss. I'll just give AoE heal.
Yes?
That's this house. Actually,
Very well.
let's visit this house first. Okay, can you walk?
Ah,
Back to work,
now
everyone.
We can
No
all
time for
free
dallying.
ourselves from vanity.
Yes.
A fine thing you reached us when you did. They would have burned the fishery next, mark my words.
He rubs your hand in a sturdy handshake.
And the last thing this lot needs is another excuse to knock off early.
He raises his voice at this last remark and glowers around the room. The other fisher folk look studiously away and focus on mending nets, gutting fish, and sorting the day's catch.
Anyway, excuse the mess. If there's something you need, the clerk can get you sorted.
He raises a grey eyebrow at the man sorting various stocks and supplies near the back of the room.
Just watch your step if you've a mind to look around. The floors are slick and none too pleasant to fall on.
Well, I've got questions about the fishery.
Been running it 4 decades now. I reckon I can tell you what you want to know.
Seems like a big operation.
It may stink of fish guts, but there's no place more critical to stalwart survival.
He nods, a blush of pride rising above his beard.
Herds come and go, so there's seasons when our catch sustains the village.
He glances around the fishery, bustling with activity and warm with the heat of the cook fire.
But try telling these folk as much. We go home each day covered to the elbows in fish oil and entrails, reeking of our work.
His eyes soften with the gaze of a stern but loving father.
Stalwart's shrinking, but it would disappear if we lost the fishers. I drive 'em hard, but I can't afford to do otherwise.
What do you do here?
Just about everything. I track the day's catches and see that our nets and hooks are in working order.
He crosses his arms over his broad chest, throwing his shoulders back.
My family's been in charge of the fishery since the early days of Stalwart. I know the best spots to find frost dive or an iron-toothed pike, and I make sure we don't overfish the speckleback.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Need
Thank you.
anything else?
No. Anything else? Clerk. I wasn't expecting anyone to come by the fishery for a while. Guess that's the proper way to go about it, really. Carry on like it's business as usual. Can I get you anything? Let me see what you have. Ring of Overseeing. Yeah, sure. Cannot take any more rations. Ivory worm figurine. This small, finely crafted figurine of a worm was carved from bone. Though the shape of it is crude, it is covered in ornate details, such as the scales upon its head and back, and the sharp teeth within its maw. Yeah, sure, give me that. Thank you. By the way, you are not. You are wearing light armor. Uh, plus, okay, I'll give you this ring. I'll give you this ring. You don't use weapons. Light armor. That should be fine for you. Looks weird. Really weird. Oh, this is for you. From Sun Beam plus 3 damage reduction. I'll give this to you. That's still for. Oh, you can wear it. Great. I think I'll rather give you this ring. Okay.
Very well.
Very well indeed. I think. Oh, we have someone to talk to. Someone around here. I'll find it without your help. Not giving up. You hear me? Hello? A dwarf paced with his head down and arms crossed, only stopping to hurl glances at the building behind him. His face is smeared dark with grime, and soot falls from his beard as he mumbles to himself. Work my hands into bloody stamps in this place. And for what? He kicks at a mound of dirty snow. Start with nothing, live with let's. He extends his arms out. Who were you yelling at? At idiots, that's who. And I'm as much to blame for believing them. The dwarf wrinkles his nose, nostrils flaring like a horse. Well, good riddance. Should have never settled here in the first place. Some things you need to leave behind, come to find you out you pack them anyway. But I'm not leaving it to recover what's mine. They can't deny me again, not after all this. Oakron gestures at the burnt out buildings. Those sweet-tongued priests took my heirlooms, buried the memory of my past, they said. Now I don't even have that. What priests? Only once here. They occupied the temple some time ago, picking a desperate flock like vultures. Those priests, honrous dogs, said the goddess would forgive, that some things are best left to be forgotten. He nods towards the nearby temple. Their leader, Lavda, I believe her words. Another one of them, a gift bearer, took my medallion. He closes his stocky hand into a fist. And now they won't tell me where it is. Your problem is that you give meaning to meaningless objects. Here, let me show you something. I need one of your rings. Okrun draws back his hand, but Zoa gives him a trustworthy nod. After a moment of hesitation, Okrun relents, dropping a jeweled band into Zawa's outstretched palm. Immediately, Zawa flings it into the lake. See, you're no worse off. Okrun's face, already splashed with pink from the cold, turns a deep shade of crimson, and his mouth puckers as though his head were set to implode. After a tense moment, his breathing slows and his fists unclench, his original look of pain and frustration returning. Why won't they tell you? Because they think they know better, that's why. Said it was the only way I would forget. What did you want to forget about your past? That was a different life. Better days. Until Okrun closes his eyes and shakes his head. Motes of soot falls into his hunched shoulders. It's my burden to bear, not yours. I thought to cast it away, but the memories I lost were all the wrong ones. What else did you give the priest? The dwarf casts a measuring look at you. He quickly turns his head away and nods. You'd understand its value. My armor, I said finer than I've ever seen. But worthless to an old dwarf. I would have traded it for the medallion, but fool that I was, I gave them both. Maybe there's something I can do. Not the kind of talk that I've grown used to these last few years, I admit. The priests may have pretended otherwise, but folks here tend to look only after themselves. I would be surprised if they return it willingly. They believe it's a sacred duty to cast the offerings to the goddess in some place where they'll be forgotten. Better to find where they dropped them, I think. What's Lavda's role in all of this? She leads the group of crows. They took over the temple as folks started to leave. Came to unburden those that sought to forget their misery here, they say. Tell me about this medallion you want to recover. It belonged to my sister. It was just a pretty trinket to her. To me, the dwarf cast his gaze down. She was the last of my family. At least that still acted like family to me. I'll take care of it. I don't expect luck to graze me now, but if you find anything, I'll be here. Count on it. Gives you a vigorous nod. Hello.
Huh, that's what I get for asking directions in the middle of nowhere.
Are you Almala?
Say, I don't suppose you've seen any mysterious old buildings in the mountains lately, have you?
The Almala wears an assortment of bangles, bands, cuffs, and chains as thick as armor. She watches you with a raised eyebrow and eyes gleaming with mirth. You mean Durgan's Buttery?
No, but I've heard that name a lot around here. I'm looking for the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. It's an obscure temple dedicated to Andra.
Why are you looking for the Abbey?
I'm a gift bearer. My job is to gather tokens of things people want forgotten and surrender them to the Lady of Lament. Best place to do that is the Abbey of the Fallen Moon.
What kind of tokens do you take?
Anything that represents a moment or a memory someone wishes to leave behind. Well, love notes, awkward family heirlooms, bad poetry, the kinds of things you want to forget.
I see.
I might be here a while. Half the villagers have never heard of the Abbey, and the ones that have, no one knows where it is. So I'm trying to think of this as an extended holiday in a remote mining village that smells like fish.
I have good business in that region. We could travel together.
You won't regret it. I've got a lovely singing voice.
Don't be a chanter. Instead of Sagani? I think so.
Farewell.
She's a barbarian. Okay, I love that. An Aumawa.
Onward!
No, you remind me of Karlak already. Maybe. Yeah. Accurate carnage. Yep. Wound binding. Frenzy. +4 might, +4 constitution. Yeah, sure. Great, a frenzy. Or hold the line. Or burst fortitude. Maybe offensive. That's not the ones. No. Adventurer. Wand, war bull. Soldier. Great axe, spike, warhammer, abyss. I mean, savage attack. Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, savage defense sounds nice. Barbaric blow. Sure. Thick skinned. Yep. Maybe envenom strike. Two-handed. No, a two-weapon style. Yeah. Barbaric shout. Maybe blood for self. Recover immediately. Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, it's working! Yes! I can't believe it! It's really... Oh.
The dwarven woman looks at you, a disappointed expression on her face. In her hands is a large rectangular box, covered in strange dials and symbols. What's working?
My ore locating divination tool. Well, that's what it will be. I have to calibrate it. Right now it seems to think you're a copper deposit.
Nice.
My Animancer contacts did suggest that a particular strong soul essence might interfere. I'm more interested in minerals in any case.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to recreate the instruments that first led the Pargrin dwarves to this mountain. This is my latest prototype. Centuries ago, dwarves carrying tools just like this one followed their readings to what is now the battery. If I can recreate their work, then I may be able to find ore deposits elsewhere. I was hoping to test it, but my arrival was delayed by word of the ogre attack. I haven't been able to find anyone to venture up the mountain since.
I could go up the mountains for you.
Really? That'd be wonderful. I just have to adjust the device, you see.
Her hands move swiftly over the box, adjusting knobs and dials.
It should point you toward metal deposits. We already know the battery rests on some rich veins, but I was hoping to get a reading of the surrounding mountainside. If you can follow the readings to ore and bring back a sample, I can use it to refine the device. Thanks ever so much for this.
You're welcome. Yes. Hello? A young man dressed in sturdy leathers glares at you. The creases in his face, tanned despite the scorched sunlight of the region, suffer a slight twitch as you approach him. I've got nothing for you. Speak with laughter if you must. Of course. Veins course under this woman's pale skin like icy fissures, yet when she speaks, her voice flows warm and soothing. Ondra welcomes you into her embrace. Her features soften with compassion. We're here to ease the pain of your past, ready to take your burdens. With a thin smile, she nods. If you let the goddess help with your hardships, of course. I heard that worshippers of Berath visited you recently. Little happens around here that doesn't end in the mouths of villagers, but we're obliged to assist everyone, regardless of their faith. A group of women came to us, yes. The leader wanted to know of Durgan's battery. I obliged and pointed them in its direction. They left us quietly as they arrived, which didn't make us any less concerned about their true intentions. This place has grown dangerous enough already. I want to ask you about Okrun's heirloom. The dwarf already asked. We gave him the counsel he needed. Slight irritation sharpens her tone. She seems to catch herself, modulating her voice back to a pleasant timbre. And, naturally, we'll do what we can for you, too. Ask what you will. Okrun wants his medallion back. She brings her hands together and nods. Ah, Okrun, how often will let the shadows of the past become a burden even to others? That medallion, it weighs on Okrun's mind. You're kind to help, but what he really needs is to cast away those memories. Isn't that for him to decide? He did. He understood the solace that the goddess can give to those like him. It was explained to him that many have second thoughts, but one does not withdraw something offered to a goddess. In time, the memories fade, and they come to see the wisdom of the original pledge. His belongings, his past, now rest in Ondra's realm, to be forgotten so that the wounds of the soul may heal. This is the will of the goddess. Her will flows in tides. Maybe Okrun still needs the medallion to discover how to forget. For a moment, the priestess scans the floor before her as if in search for an answer. She nods. You're well versed in the intricacies of our faith. No use in hiding anything from someone like you. There is no need to quarrel over the mistress of a goddess's will. I'll tell you what you wish to know. Okrun's heirloom was taken by Ixtli, chosen gift-bearer among us, to be cast away as an offering to Ondra. Only he knows where. She pauses and looks at you intently. You could ask him yourself, but he's on a trek through the mountains of Durgan's Battery. If you run into Ixtli, tell him he has urgent duties to attend here. Tell me about him. Ixtli, okay, we'll wait for that. It's hard to believe that only the gift bearer knows where Ondra's offerings are cast away. Is it? Our goddess frees us from our earthly burdens. It's best if only one of us knows where they are taken, else we'll all end up suffering under their weight. Tell me about Ondra. Ondra is the goddess of redemption, deep like an ocean and gentle as a mother. She's here to relieve her children of their darkest burdens. We came here to aid the villagers, to heal the wounds of the past that fester in their souls. I thought Ondra was the goddess of loss and mourning, not redemption. That's a... The priestess crosses her arms and shifts her weight. Common notion. Others may believe so, but the goddess' mysteries are profound. Her true power lies in redeeming your loss and regret. I want to know about the gift bearers. Gift bearers do Ondra's most valued work. They carry the material burdens on unfortunate souls into her embrace, so that the goddess may help them forget. Thank you. Okay, so we know all that we need to advance. I do want to go back to Ketnua first, to defend it, to go into the Endless Path again. And we still have this wagon.
Wow. So it doesn't even bother you that most of your people died.
As you step outside, the heavy wooden door of the temple slum shuts behind you. You hear someone barring it from the other side. It sounds like the priests have engaged in an agitated conversation. You get the sense that they are discussing you, but you're also certain that the door is too thick to eavesdrop through, although there may be other places nearby where you'd stand a better chance.
Then Alpaska learned to embrace death.
Give me a moment.
And the remaining few were enslaved?
The wooden shutters of the temple's window closed tight, muffle a set of voices coming from within the building. You can't quite make sense of the murmur, but crackling a shutter open would likely help. A rusty iron latch holds the window shutters closed. With care, you should be able to unfasten without being noticed. Unfasten. You carefully begin to lift the latch from its metal hook. Halfway there, the rusted iron resists with a screech. You freeze, listening to the voices in hopes the priest didn't hear. Then their conversation continues, uninterrupted. Pour some oil. You grab the latch and apply just the right amount of oil, nudging the metal until its thrust gives way without a sound. Carefully, you pull the window shutters open enough to let the voices flow through. You hear a man speaking, his tone agitated. You do that? Hope the matters will do it? Fix? What if X? His sentence cuts, as if the man were speaking to all sides of the room. Suppose she tells them instead. What then? Recognize Lavda's voice responding. Why would she? And what with all those dangers near the battery? Our gift bearer won't delay. Expect. The man interrupts her. You always expect. Look where that's taken us. A dying village. Ogres at the walls. Ixel's not back yet, and I have to do this. His voice drops and ceases, muffling what he has to say. After a moment, laughter replies, "Do you think I wanted this? That I could have known in advance?" A pause ensues, its tension growing until the priestess' voice cuts in half. "We can't wait for him. We must fish out the last batch, quickly. After that, we'll decide." The man responds in a broken voice, barely audible. He only distinguished the last words. "In that russet wood pond. I'll go." The exchange seems to end. Cautiously, you step away from the window of Antra's temple.
As long as the spirit is free, bonds of the flesh do us no harm.
You've got to tell me how you do it.
I will show you. Come, let us find a mass grave to sleep in.
What? By the way. Okay. Okay, Russell. But I'll end this part for here for now, so thank you very much. See you later and see you soon. Bye.